everybody, Dr. Sis here. So today I'm going to talk to you about something that is extremely important, which is the health of our kids. Not only physical health, but their mental health as well, their emotional health, okay? And the health of their immune system. Now, would you agree that the health of our kids is the most important thing in the world, right? Is there anything more important than the health of your kids or the health of your nieces, nephews, cousins? I would hope, I don't think there is, right? If there's something more important than that, let me know in the comments. But I would say that the health of our kids is the most important thing, period. So we should be doing things that make them healthier, not sicker. Yes or yes. Okay. Now, I don't think anyone can disagree that ultra-processed, refined foods are terrible for a kid's health. But I don't think you understand how bad it is, not only for heart disease, cancers, obesity, diabetes, things like that, but it's devastating to their brain and their mental health, and it's terrible for their immune system, all right? So you don't have to believe me. I'll read directly from an article from Harvard, and here are some things they point out, right? So just like an expensive car, your brain can be damaged if you ingest anything other than premium fuel. Low premium fuel, such as what you get from processed or ultra processed or refined fuels, can damage your brain. Diets high in refined sugars, for example, are harmful to the brain. Multiple studies have found a correlation between a diet of high refined sugars and impaired brain function, and it can even worsen symptoms of mood disorders such as depression. So literally what you eat can have an immediate impact on your mood and can promote depression. Since about 95% of the serotonin is produced in your gastrointestinal tract. So, and the most common antidepressant is SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it selectively, whatever, if you want to believe that, has an impact on the serotonin in your brain. Well, 95% of that is produced in your gut. What you eat has a massive impact on your mood, which has a massive impact on your emotions and your behaviors, right? The inner workings of your digestive system don't just help you digest food, but also guide emotions, right? So what you eat and what you feed kids has a massive impact on either helping or damaging their brain and helping or hurting their emotions and their behaviors, right? Also, what you eat, what we feed kids has a massive impact on their immune system. I like to explain it like this. Your immune system, it's constantly working. It's like you have a military inside your body, same inside of a kid's body. When you eat ultra-processed foods, it's like taking weapons away from the immune system, right? So I hear constantly, it's like, oh, why are kids sick all the time? Why are kids sick all the time? Because we're constantly poisoning their immune system with terribly unhealthy foods, all right? So I posted a picture of a school lunch. I'm like, there's no way, because it was just something I seen on the internet. I was like, are school lunches really this bad? And other health, or not health, but educators started sending me photos of actual school lunches, and it absolutely blew my mind, right? So I'm gonna go over some of them and then give you a really simple solution that there's no other option. Like, this is the only option, okay? And the reason it's the only option is because the school lunches are based on the guidelines from the United States Department of Agriculture, okay? So if you visualize the United States Department of Agriculture, do you see a bunch of really healthy people in a room, that's really caring about the health of our kids? Or do you visualize a bunch of people who are bought by big food and they're pushing the agriculture products that they sell? I mean, that's what it is. And unfortunately, the schools and anyone who takes government money has to follow these guidelines, right? So this is why the food is god-awful. So here is next level. I actually paid for some school lunches, right? So I had a teacher, I gave him money to bring me some school lunches just so I can show you what you shouldn't be giving kids and why. So for breakfast, they get a Pop-Tart. And it's completely mind-boggling. So the things I find are, I call it the devil's try, the worst foods that you can give a human, and it's three things that I never ever have in my home, is one, processed seed oils like soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, safflower oil, just absolutely terrible, added sugars, and dairy products. All right, those are three things you never find in my home. So first, we get this Pop-Tart, and you get whole wheat flour, corn syrup, and then enriched flour. And by the way, flour, it's just sugar. Like, it's sugars bound together. As soon as your kid eats this stuff, digestion means breaking this into sugar. And then you got dextrose, which is more sugar, and then soybean or palm oil, which I would never eat. So there is nothing in here that I ever give my kids and would never, ever give to a kid. Like, this is the stuff that is damaging their brain and damaging their body. Food can only do two things. It can either make you healthier or make you sicker. And unless you're starving to death and you really need calories badly, this is making a kid sicker. With this, what do we get? Chocolate milk. So in this chocolate milk, we have carrageenan, which is an additive, which I would avoid, artificial flavors, and then a whole bunch of added sugar to make it nice and sweet. So, I mean, you can see why someone would have behavior issues and crash mid-morning after this. What else we got in here? Oh, then we got a thing of apple juice. And two, the other thing, just as far as, hear about this environmental, save the environment, just the amount of packaging to feed one little kid is just, it's astonishing. But apple juice is not a health food, by the way. Juice is not a health food. Here's why. If I gave you 6 apples, could you sit down and eat 6 apples? Probably not, because you have all that fiber. Fiber's a carbohydrate too, you just can't digest it. But all that fiber fills you up, so it kind of limits how much sugar water you get in your body. If you squeeze the sugar water out of apples, you could easily drink 6 apples worth of sugar water very, very quickly. It's very, very different. Whole fruits are much different than juices. And then we have, this is probably the best thing, which it looks like apples, water, cinnamon, blended up with no added sugar. So this is just like a blended up apple. So this is the best of the bad. Other thing that I would mention is all of this stuff is from conventional farming, which means I guarantee you, if you test this, you're gonna find glyphosate, Roundup, and other pesticides inside this thing. So yeah, basically no quality nutrition whatsoever, plus sprayed with Roundup. I mean, I would never ever give this to a kid. Ever. And then, after this awful breakfast, they followed up with lunch. So what do we have for lunch? This cheesy bread or a piece of pizza, right? So you got refined grains, terrible wheat. You should never, ever eat wheat. It's just one of my rules. It's a simple rule. This stuff's terrible for you. I got a whole chapter in my book about why it's bad. It's mouse food. And then with this, you get deep fried curly fries. So you get more processed terrible oils, deep fried potato, which is potato instantly turns into sugar, and then give a little tiny bag of lettuce with this dressing. And the first ingredient is soybean oil. So it's basically a bag of soybean oil. I guarantee you this would be loaded with glyphosate too, because soybeans are sprayed with glyphosate like crazy. Xanthan gum, it's just monosodium glutamate, a flavor enhancer. Just something I would never, ever give to a kid. I want to feed this, think about this, guys. Imagine giving this stuff to a dog. You would never do it. You would never give this to a puppy because you know it'd make them sick. So we're giving this stuff to kids, and the research shows it damages their brain, it damages their metabolism. Childhood obesity, diabetes is a massive problem, leads to skin conditions. So many kids are suffering from skin conditions like acne, which is terrible for your self-esteem and confidence. The leading cause of skin conditions is garbage food like this. You're eating too much garbage food, not enough good nutrition, all right? So then the next day, and two, I mean, I understand teachers, there's nothing you can do, right, about changing this. The school system is just a shitty system. It's a shitty system, massively corrupt. They take our tax dollars and pay farms to grow garbage food. And then they have these massive amounts of garbage food, and then they use our tax dollars to buy it for kids. And I mean, I'm getting pictures of school lunches where they just hand them a bag of Doritos or a bag of Fritos or a bag of Sun Chips. It's freaking mind-boggling, all right? So then the next breakfast, what do kids get? We get more chocolate milk, which is terrible, and then a Pillsbury Frutal, Frutal strudel, right? Everything's the same ingredients, you guys. It's wheat flour, enriched wheat, added sugar, corn syrup, modified starch, more sugar, palm kernel oil, soybean oil, just absolute garbage. Pretty much everything is the same garbage ingredients, just made into different shapes with different names, right? It's all basically the same. It's not basically, it is the same garbage. And then you get the applesauce and the apple juice again. And then the next lunch is chocolate milk. I didn't think chocolate milk was an option for lunches. I don't remember that as a kid. But here's what they should be getting. Filtered water. Like there should be cups, and you go through with ice cold filtered water for every single kid. There's this myth that kids need milk for strong bones. That's absolutely completely untrue. You absolutely do. The most important thing for strong bones is resistance exercise. The kids should be getting resistance exercise in a group environment every single day to build strong bones and muscles, and actually massively improves brain function, memory, mood, so many other things. That's what makes strong bones, not drinking sugar-filled, artificially flavored, preservative-filled garbage like this that, again, I would never give a dog. This part, you get some refined grain pasta. In here is some ground up meat, which is the best part of this meal. You get a processed grain breadstick, which is awful. There are a few little carrots, which is good. But then again, this giant freaking package of soybean oil with just terrible stuff. And you wonder why, too, kids have so many digestive issues. This is ruining their digestion. It's terrible. So what's the only solution? It's a very, very simple one. You have to send food with them to school every single day. It's the only way, and it's not that hard. It's really, really easy. Here's what I would do. Make a healthy supper for your family. During supper, put extra of it into a box it up, package it up for lunch the next day. Create that habit every single day, right? If you're in a pinch, do stuff like this. Here are some Thousand Hills grass-fed beef dogs. Any quality lunch meat. Like, meat is a complete protein. It's got all the building blocks to build a healthy body. Phenomenal. Send them some good lunch meat with an apple, some whole fruits, some nuts, some carrots, some whole vegetables. Create that routine, right? And then give them a cup or a bottle of water. Just say, give them a cup of water instead of chocolate milk for lunch. Like, it really is that easy, right? It's like, well, what exactly should I be eating? Like, read my book. I can't make it any easier. Just follow what's in the book. Create those habits. I do it, right? We do it. Anywhere we go, we just pack a lunch. And it's always the same things. Quality lunch meats, whole fruits, whole nuts, whole vegetables. Hard-boiled eggs would be amazing. I got tons of options in there. A banana with some almonds, an apple with some almond butter, but I would always have some meat. The most nutrient dense. I understand that there's some people out there trying to promote plant-based. They're idiots. They're fucking idiots. Anyone who tries to keep meat away from kids is an idiot, right? So get them the most nutrient dense, body, muscle, health building food, some quality meat with some whole fruits, vegetables, whole nuts. I mean, the only way, and I totally understand, it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the kid's fault, it's just the system of the public school system, where the only option, you guys, is you gotta pack food for your kids, and it is so worth it. It's like, why? Oh yeah, for some berry, I didn't even notice this, what is this? Blueberries, strawberries, and syrup, right? So they add a bunch of water and sugar to blueberries and strawberries. It's so easy. Just send them blueberries, raspberries, strawberries without adding stuff. Just send them the whole fruit, right? Is it a little bit more expensive? Yes. But what are we paying for? The thing that we agreed is most important than anything in this entire world, which is the health of our kids. I think, and please, for the love of God, don't say it's too much work, takes too much time, costs too much. How could feeding, nourishing a kid's body and brain, the most important thing there is, take too much time, cost too much money, to whatever? And here's the thing, like, if somehow I had a magic wand, I would make school lunches amazing. So teachers didn't avoid them by the plague. Like, pretty much every single one I talked was like, oh my God, I don't eat the school lunch. It's so gross. I would have the school lunches be the best meal ever. So teachers like, oh my God, the school lunches here are amazing, because a lot of kids are getting this shit at home too, or worse, all right? So it should be amazing. For those of you, and I wish there's a better solution other than for those of you that have the resources to just pack lunch for your kids and breakfast every single day.